Welcome to Spiritual Dessert Trews, episode 99 for Russell Brand and other people. Today's is the last continuation of this book, the Pied Piper reading from New York City, Barnes & Noble bookstore, Union Square. Hope you will enjoy. Love you.
Now, Gretchen is what you'd call gorgeous. Tall. Tall like a tower in Castile with a donkey being shoved off it. They did that. Dark blue eyes like the deepest oceans where people dump their rubbish. This also happens. And her hair, a tangled meadow of gold that had no obvious connotations of cruelty or irresponsibility. I have to admit, she had great hair. Dennis hung around Fat Bob too. Dennis was so unremarkable that he pretended to be whatever was required of him at any given moment just to fit in. Look at the drawings of him. He's always different. See? That bit requires the drawing, really. It's a verbal joke. It lacks something. No, you're right. Today was a special day for the townspeople, the most important day of their year. It was finally after 364 of the most boring days imaginable time for the most gorgeous child in Hamelin pageant. In Hamelin, they don't have Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad, so there was no Christmas or any of that. For them, the most gorgeous child in Hamelin pageant is the big one. A chance to really let rip and enjoy life. Today, everyone was really feeling the vibe. There were banners, fireworks, stalls selling amazing candy and lamb legs dipped in sherbet, a Hamelinian delicacy, local news crews bustling and smiling. Good morning, Hamelin, get your perfect butt out of bed. Everyone's hair was immaculately combed and their clothes were ironed so straight they were scared to move. The parents that had children in the pageant, like Fat Bob's dad, Gretchen's mum, and a bunch of others, stood around licking lollipops and sipping hot wine, which is a treasured tradition, and bragging about their vile brats. Bob is so delicious, said Fat Bob's dad, proudly watching as his son pushed a wasp into a baby's open mouth. Fat Bob's dad dressed as if he was 25 years old, which he wasn't. And as if he worked in a shop selling Italian menswear, which he didn't. He sluiced down his hot wine as if he thought he needed to get it in his guts quickly before someone else nicked it. He gurgled on about his nasty son. He's so strong and sensitive, mused Fat Bob's dad, wistfully, as if he was talking about his boyfriend and not his son. His hair smells as sweet as great Ezra's breath. Only the vicar really minded that the name of Ezra, the goat that the Hamelinians had built a self-serving religion around, was being used in such a trivial context, and he couldn't say anything. He had too many secrets. No one else in Hamelin cared much about using Ezra's name in vain. They only cared about things that give you a buzz or get your attention. Are you sure you don't want to be in the pageant, Sam? Asked his mum. No thanks, I don't stand a chance, what with one leg being thinner than the other. Also, I don't want to hang out with that lot, they'll just bully me. I wish Hamelin was different. I wish people were less concerned with silly things. Today on my way home from the graveyard, I'll get you a rosette that says, "Perfect boy, how about that?" she said with a laugh as she jumped on the tram to work. I appreciate the thought, Mum, but I'd sooner have some birdseed or a biscuit or a bag of Springs. Sam weren't too bothered about trinkets and felt a bit sad that his mum had to work when everyone else was on holiday, but she had to for financial reasons, especially since I made Sam's dad disappear. Sam's contemplation was interrupted in typical fashion by Gretchen, Fat Bob and Dennis, who at great personal expense reanimated some roadkill with cogs and twigs and primitive electronics. Sam looked at this ingenious new threat, a mangy rabbit, a headless badger, and an inside-out fox. The trio of adored wretches chortled as they set their mechanical woodland zombie army after Sam. He sighed, as those who know suffering do when a new horror is unleashed, and swung with gymnastic efficiency between his crutches and headed to the hills. It was as if some magical being who lives in the sky and the trees, the rivers and beneath our thoughts, knew the people of Hamelin were no good, for on this day, their most cherished day, without warning, a gang of rats bowled into town and began causing a right rumpus. I assure you, these were no ordinary rats. They were as big as cats and afraid of nothing. They were oily and slick and wore eye patches and carried flick knives and could machine gun butt pellets out of their egg holes whenever they fancied. Even though they call themselves an anarcho-egalitarian rat collective, that means there's no rules and no one's in charge. In reality, Casper was in charge. He had too much fur on his body and none on his head. He looked like a pink egg made of skin in a Turkish wrestler's armpit. In his constant attendance were a pair of ratty twins, Gianna and Paul, who were both his wives. In anarcho-egalitarian rat collectives, polygamy, more than one wife, is common. It's not as common for one of the wives to be male, but these rats were real badasses. They lived mostly on land, but they were like hairy little villains of the sea. Pirates! Maybe that's a good place to have a little break from the Pied Piper of Hamelin and take a few more questions.
This concludes Spiritual Dessert Trews. Hope you've enjoyed. Pleasant dreams. Love you.